The Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP, A'ja Wilson, and walk away with a W, 80-70.
Big win for the Indiana Fever over the Las Vegas Aces.
Shout out to Sophie Cunningham, the Pink Power Ranger.
We got to give shout out to Sophie.
I mean, my God, she's been hot as fire out there. She's wide open. Get her the ball. She's knocking them down all over the place.
She's versatile. She can hit shots. She can guard multiple positions. And that's why you got to go out and find another one of those players.
Sophie Cunningham has been hot to trot. Sophie Cunningham has been on fire.
The Indiana Fever just delivered the most shocking statement victory of the entire 2025 WNBA season, and it happened without their biggest star even touching the court. While Caitlin Clark sat on the bench in street clothes nursing her groin injury, her teammates absolutely dismantled A'ja Wilson and the back-to-back champion Las Vegas Aces 80-70 in a performance that sent shockwaves through the entire league. Sophie Cunningham dropped 15 points while shooting a scorching 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, extending her ridiculous hot streak that has made her the current favorite to win Sixth Player of the Year. Kelsey Mitchell overcame a nightmare start to deliver 21 clutch points when it mattered most. Natasha Howard dominated with 18 points and 13 rebounds while recording 0 turnovers in the most complete performance of her career. This wasn't just a win. This was a declaration that the Indiana Fever are championship contenders with or without their superstar sensation.
Put a whooping on the Las Vegas Aces. Beat them in that third quarter, 27-15. Our defense held pat. Our offense showed up.
And it was a balanced effort from the Fever. Natasha Howard with a big game. Aaliyah Boston contributing as well. Sophie Cunningham has been on a heater. Aari McDonald hits the dagger. And these are the kind of wins that will allow the Fever to tread water until Caitlin Clark can return.
Sophie, another big game, 4 or 5, 3 or 4 from three-point range, 15 points tonight.
Can we see that same fire and tenacity for Caitlin Clark when she's busy getting beat up on the court? Can we see some of that? That's all I'm asking.
The question everyone's asking now is simple. How good can this team actually be when Clark returns healthy? If you're fired up about Sophie's incredible streak, comment spicy Sophie. And let's dive into how the Fever shocked the basketball world. The pressure heading into this July 24th showdown at Gainbridge Fieldhouse was suffocating for everyone wearing Indiana blue. The Fever had just suffered back-to-back defeats against the defending champion New York Liberty, losses that had critics questioning everything about this team's identity and championship aspirations. Caitlin Clark had injured her groin on July 15th and was ruled out for the showdown against reigning WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces. The narrative surrounding the Fever had completely shifted from playoff contender to one-woman show in less than 2 weeks.
I hope that you idiots don't start this whole "they're better without Caitlin Clark" thing, because it's clearly not true. It's clearly not true. The Indiana Fever are fighting for their life in this second half of the season to make the back end of the playoffs. Stephanie White, I hope you know you better get us into the playoffs with or without Caitlin Clark.
A'ja Wilson, actually, let me see. She only had 6 free throw attempts tonight. I guess the refs got the memo. There was so much backlash after the last game where A'ja Wilson, I think, went to the damn free throw line. I don't know how many times. I swear it was 20 times.
Social media was brutal with takes about how the Fever were exposed without Clark's magic, while sports talk shows painted them as pretenders who couldn't compete with elite teams when their superstar went down. The Indiana Fever had struggled without their star player, posting a 5-6 record in her absence. Standing in their way were A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces, the back-to-back champions who entered Indianapolis with their own struggles at 12 wins and 11 losses, but still carried themselves with the swagger of proven winners. Wilson had been averaging over 31 points during the Aces' recent 3-game winning streak and seemed ready to make a statement against a Clarkless Fever team. Wilson finished the game with 20 points, while Jackie Young added 19 for Las Vegas. The Aces likely viewed this as their golden opportunity to prove what many suspected all along, that Indiana was nothing more than a one-woman basketball circus disguised as a legitimate franchise.
The Indiana Fever got bailed out today. You got bailed out by a terrible Las Vegas Aces team. Yes, they won 3 in a row, but let's be serious here. This team got 4 Olympians and they can't figure nothing out. Becky Hammond I thought Stephanie White was bad. Oh my God. Did y'all see Becky Hammond trying to coach today?
Without the refs, Asia is half the player she really is. And I'm saying that as Asia used to be in my top 5 until this year. I'm just being honest. Like, whether you a fan of hers or not, let's just be mature and honest. Y'all ain't gonna sit here and tell me she don't get away with a lot of calls, and she get a lot of calls for her. Therefore, what I'm saying for the people that ain't grasping it, she gets to commit a lot of fouls, and the refs don't call a foul on her. But as soon as somebody go on her, it's a foul, and she's shooting 1,000,000 free throws a game.
Wilson herself had dealt with jealousy issues regarding Clark's popularity and media attention over the past 2 seasons, making this the perfect stage for her to reclaim the spotlight. Coach Stephanie White understood the magnitude of this moment better than anyone on the Fever roster. This game would define whether her team possessed the mental toughness and depth necessary to compete for championships, or if they were simply another squad that needed their star player to have any realistic chance of success against quality opposition. The weight of expectation was crushing, as White tried to find the right words to reach her players when doubt was creeping into everyone's minds about their collective ability and identity.
For the first time, maybe all season, Stephanie White really and truly showed a little emotion. My issue is, there's been so many other valid times to lose her. And this random game,
before the shot, and
Stephanie White goes absolutely in this thing. She gets attacked. She says that's bull. Where has this fire been out of Stephanie White? I would love to understand. Where is this fire been?
I'm still not giving you no props, Stephanie Jigsaw White, because you are incompetent as a coach, and I don't like you. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. It is what it is. You still gotta go.
But sometimes the best thing that can happen to a team is having everyone count them out completely, and the Fever were about to transform their biggest perceived weakness into their greatest strength, while proving that champions aren't made when everything goes perfectly, but rather forged when adversity strikes hardest. For the first 3 quarters against Las Vegas, Kelsey Mitchell looked like she was playing with a basketball made of concrete instead of leather. Kelsey Mitchell scored 20 on points, but those numbers only tell part of the story, because Mitchell was absolutely struggling through the first 36 minutes of this crucial game. She missed her first several shots and appeared completely out of rhythm, while the pressure of replacing Clark's offensive production weighed heavily on her shoulders.
In the first half, Kelsey Mitchell was 2 for 10. And she finishes 6 for 14, closing out the game. But most importantly, that fourth quarter, 4 for 5 from the field in that fourth quarter. Kelsey Mitchell stepped up when she needed to step up. 9 points, hit a big 3, was able to get to the line, missed her free throw, but hey.
Listen, I got to keep it real. Kelsey Mitchell, you hit some timely baskets. You did hit some timely baskets, but boy, yo got bailed out today, Kelsey Mitchell. Yo got bailed out. 8 for 24 for 21 points. That is not good. You started out 2 for 14. We are lucky that this Las Vegas Aces team is old and slow.
Kelsey Ball Hog Mitchell, whose sister and family claim that she's better than my precious Cece. She was 3 for 16 from the field. You hear me? She had a rough night. All she want to do is shoot, 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 shoot. But I think that pressure getting to her, yeah. Your family put you out on Front Street. Now you're uneasy being around my precious Cece because you've been sneak dissing.
Critics had been questioning Mitchell's consistency all season long, pointing to her tendency to disappear in crucial moments when the Fever needed scoring the most. The numbers backed up their harsh arguments too, as Mitchell would explode for 20-plus points one night, then shoot poorly the next game when everything was on the line. Early in this matchup against the Aces, those doubts looked completely justified, as Mitchell struggled to find any sort of offensive flow or confidence. Through 3 quarters, she had gone 4 for 19 from the field, the kind of shooting performance that gets players benched during crucial playoff-type games. You could see the frustration building on Mitchell's face with every missed attempt as the crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse started getting restless, sensing the Fever's offense falling apart without Clark's incredible playmaking abilities. Mitchell felt every single miss weighing on her shoulders like concrete blocks, and the pressure kept mounting with each shot that refused to fall through the rim. But coach Stephanie White had a completely different plan than what most people expected. Instead of riding the bench, White pulled Mitchell aside during a critical timeout and delivered the message that would change everything about this game's trajectory.
Kelsey tonight, not the most efficient night, but still an impactful night, and that, especially in that fourth quarter. Is there any kind of message you need to say to her? Anything that we still need you to keep shooting and keep going, or anything like that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just telling her, like, let it fly. It's going to go. And then helping her recalibrate when she's attacking the rim and just staying on balance. I thought there are times where she's taking a lot of contact and she gets off balance and she goes off of one leg instead of off two, and just really reiterate to her, particularly in those moments, to go off of 2 feet, stay balanced, go strong to the rim. That's when she makes her best reads and her best decisions, and then to keep shooting it from outside. She made some big ones when we needed them.
Let it fly. It's going to go. White told her struggling star guard, words that hit Mitchell exactly where she needed to hear them most. White also reminded Mitchell to stay balanced when attacking the rim for better reads and smarter decisions with the basketball. Mitchell's teammates started rallying around her in ways that don't always show up in traditional box score statistics. They fed her the ball in better positions where she could succeed. They set harder screens to get her clean looks at the basket. They created the space and opportunities Mitchell needed to find her shooting rhythm and confidence again. Then, something magical clicked in the second half as Mitchell transformed from struggling shooter into clutch performer. She started hitting shots from all over the court while her speed became a major problem for the Aces' defensive schemes. She was driving hard to the basket and finishing through contact like a player possessed. She was pulling up for mid-range jumpers that found nothing but net with incredible accuracy. The fourth quarter became Mitchell's personal showcase when the game was hanging in the balance between victory and defeat. She scored 9 crucial points in those final 12 minutes, while going 4 for 5 from the field when it mattered most. Kelsey Mitchell scored 21 points and also recorded 4 assists that tied for the team high mark, making plays for her teammates while taking over the primary scoring load. Mitchell finished by silencing every single critic who questioned her ability to lead this team in clutch moments when Clark wasn't available. She demonstrated the mental toughness and killer instinct that championship teams absolutely need from their veteran players. This wasn't just about replacing Clark's production on the stat sheet. This was about Mitchell becoming the leader this Fever team always needed her to become in pressure situations. While everyone focused on who would replace Clark's scoring, Sophie Cunningham quietly became the most dangerous shooter in the entire WNBA during July. Her recent numbers are almost too good to believe. 13.7 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and 3 made 3-pointers per game while shooting 58.1% from deep over her last 6 games. Against the Aces, Cunningham stepped up when the lights were brightest, knocking down 3 of 4 attempts from beyond the arc with ice in her veins. Her shots weren't just empty numbers either. They were perfectly timed daggers that crushed Las Vegas comeback attempts. Every time the Aces started building momentum, Cunningham would drain another 3 to deflate their hopes completely. What makes this surge even more impressive is the context of her transformation. Cunningham struggled early in her first Indiana season, but she's completely turned things around by stringing together 6 consecutive double-figure scoring games off the bench. She now leads all WNBA players with 18 three-pointers made during this hot streak while shooting a league-best 58.1% from deep. Basketball analysts are seriously discussing her as the front-runner for 6th Player of the Year, and the betting markets have made her the current favorite. What makes Cunningham special isn't just her shooting ability, though. She contributes rebounds, defense, and leadership, while Coach White moved her into the starting lineup to leverage her energy and versatility. But her reputation as the Fever's enforcer is what really made her a fan favorite. After protecting Clark in that viral altercation against Connecticut, Cunningham's jersey sales skyrocketed, and she gained hundreds of thousands of social media followers. When Clark returns healthy, she'll be joining a team with another proven scorer who can swing momentum in crucial situations. While Howard's dominance and McDonald's clutch shot grabbed headlines, Natasha Howard quietly put together the most complete performance of her WNBA career. Howard finished with 18 points and 13 rebounds while recording 0 turnovers in a masterful display. Howard scored 11 points in the third quarter, leading a 27-point effort by the Fever for a 62-56 lead entering the fourth. That third quarter explosion was crucial for establishing the rhythm the Fever needed to close out this statement victory. She grabbed 3 steals while disrupting Las Vegas's offensive flow and creating extra possessions throughout the game. Howard talked about how defense gets their offense going after the game, explaining the connection between stops and scoring opportunities. Our defense get our offense going, and that's how we maintain games like that. We don't rely on our offense a lot, Howard said post-game. Her performance was the perfect example of how veteran players impact winning in ways that don't show up in highlight reels, doing all the little things championship teams need while providing steady presence that allowed younger players to play with freedom. With 35 seconds remaining and the game hanging in the balance, Aari McDonald stepped up to deliver the shot that would define this entire statement victory. The lead was 75-70 after Jewel Lloyd scored for Las Vegas, but the Aces went the final 94 seconds without a point. McDonald caught the ball at the top of the arc with Wilson's team desperately trying to mount one final push for their playoff lives. The pressure was enormous for McDonald because everyone understood the stakes perfectly. Miss this shot and give the two-time champions life to complete their comeback. Make it and crush their hopes while sending a message to the entire league. McDonald didn't hesitate for even a second as she rose up with complete confidence. The step-back three-pointer was absolutely fearless as McDonald launched that shot knowing exactly what it meant for her team's season. The three-pointer swished through the net, extending the lead and breaking the Aces' spirit completely. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse crowd exploded into a frenzy as they knew they had just witnessed something special. McDonald went a perfect 3 for 3 from three-point range in this statement game while finishing with 9 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals in 22 productive minutes off the bench. McDonald's clutch shot secured not just this crucial victory, but also the season series tiebreaker against Las Vegas that could prove invaluable when playoff positioning gets decided. Even though Caitlin Clark couldn't contribute on the court due to her groin injury, her competitive fire burned bright from the bench throughout this victory. Clark bolted out of her seat after a whistle went against teammate Sophie Cunningham, walking onto the court in protest. Her passion, despite being in street clothes, showed why she's become such a beloved teammate and leader. Clark was fully locked in for 40 minutes, jumping up and celebrating her teammates' success like she was playing herself. When McDonald hit that dagger three-pointer, Clark was among the first jumping off the bench in pure celebration. Her reaction revealed everything about her character, celebrating others' success even when she couldn't be part of the action. The bond between Clark and her teammates has grown stronger during her injury absence, as evidenced by their social media interactions and public support. Clark's sideline energy provided emotional fuel her teammates could feel throughout the game, reminding everyone this victory was building towards something bigger when she returns healthy. This victory against Las Vegas represents far more than just another regular season win because it fundamentally changed how the entire league views this Indiana Fever team. The Fever's 13-12 record now puts them firmly in playoff contention while securing crucial tiebreakers against elite competition that could determine postseason seeding. They now hold a 2-1 record against the Aces, giving them a tiebreaker advantage that could prove vital for playoff positioning. More importantly, they proved they possess the depth, mental toughness, and collective identity necessary to compete for championships when their star player returns healthy. It was the Aces' first loss to the Fever since 2019, ending a 16-game winning streak, making this victory even more meaningful for a franchise that had struggled against Las Vegas for years. This wasn't just about beating a good team. This was about proving they belong in conversations about championship contenders while establishing an identity that goes beyond any single player's individual brilliance. The combination of Mitchell's leadership, Cunningham's shooting, Howard's dominance, and McDonald's clutch gene has created something special that extends far beyond what anyone expected from this roster. When Clark returns from her groin injury, she'll be joining a team that just demonstrated they can beat elite competition through collective effort, defensive intensity, and unselfish basketball. The future looks incredibly bright in Indiana because this victory proved they have multiple players capable of taking over games when needed most. The current WNBA landscape has been dominated by discussions about officiating controversies and player reactions to inconsistent referee decisions throughout the season. Sophie Cunningham was fined $500 for a TikTok post criticizing the league's referees, showing how players are using social media to express frustration with officiating standards. The original TikTok featured Cunningham lip-syncing to song lyrics saying, "Stupid," or is it "slow," or maybe "useless," with the words "at some refs" on the video. The video garnered 1.3 million views, demonstrating how much attention these officiating issues receive from fans and media alike. Cunningham's response to the fine was perfectly on brand for her personality, tweeting she got fined $500 for the TikTok and found it funny because there are more important things to worry about with the league right now. Coach Stephanie White has been particularly vocal about officiating standards, stating that everybody's getting better except the officials. Cunningham has earned the nickname the Enforcer for the Fever, and fans counting on her to protect Caitlin Clark can rest easy knowing she is a black belt in Taekwondo. Her rise to social media stardom came after protecting Clark in physical altercations with opposing players, leading to a dramatic increase in jersey sales and hundreds of thousands of new social media followers. The combination of her on-court performance and off-court personality has made Cunningham one of the most popular players in the league among fans who appreciate her authenticity and willingness to stand up for teammates. As the Fever continue building toward playoff contention, they've established themselves as a team that won't be intimidated by anyone while proving they have the depth and talent to compete with the best teams in the WNBA with or without their biggest star.